Rich and Angel. It's the Rich and Angel Show.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the quarantine. We are here, your quarantine buddies. Let's quarantine and chill.
That's it. Quarantine and chill. Good day. Happy hump day. And you are here alive and well. I can't hear myself.
Better?
I'm back.
All right.
Okay. You are here alive and well with us on the Rich and Angel Show. And we're looking to go live as much as we possibly can for everyone to keep the sense of community going and let you know
To keep the peace, you know?
you are not alone during this
Absolutely.
trying times. Facebook, I don't see us live on Facebook.
We are there.
You see us?
Nope.
No, because we're not. That's unfortunate. I was gonna go put us in the food equipment group.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. It says we're live.
It says we're there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll just hopefully. I don't know. It's unfortunate, really. Yeah. Dead air. Do.
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, cool. Okay. Let me go to it. So guys, we're here today on Wednesday with you, and it's another crazy day. A lot of stuff going on here. Different things are happening. We wanted to jump on. Oh, now I get a notification. That's it. Quarantine and chill. Good day.
There we go with the playback. I feel like
Yeah.
it's a tradition.
Yes, it is. Got the watch party coming to the Food Equipment Digital Disruptor Group.
Boom.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, happy to have you here. What's going on out there in the world? Give us a shout in the comments. Let us know where you are, what you're doing, what's your thoughts today.
Yeah.
Have they changed from yesterday? We're here. I'm not gonna lie, definitely a little bit more worried than I was initially.
Yeah, same here. I'm interested to know how many of you guys that are in this specific industry are actually at home, working from home right now.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know what that number is.
Yeah, that's a good question. Who's working from home? Listen, from a small business perspective here in the trades industry, food equipment, service, refrigeration, we are essential business.
Yeah.
I think we're emergency responders in the sense that, there are still restaurants in operation for pickup and delivery, equipment still being used, right?
Yeah.
So we're still here. We're still operating. We're still working. We're still 24/7, 365. I've sent out a big blast email this morning.
Yeah.
Letting all of our customer database know that there are no overtime charges.
Interesting.
Until further notice through April. I gave a date there. There's also
Ginger and
no more.
And Gene are working from home. They said.
Okay.
Ginger is at home coding projects.
Nice. Yeah. There's also no trip or service charges for us until further notice for April. Just to, if customers need us, I know times are going to be tough with money. So if we can keep costs to the bare minimum for them,
right,
and continue to be able to do business here as well for us, it's a win-win situation, I think.
Big time.
So we'll keep an eye on what's happening here with the businesses closing and how it's going to affect us getting into some locations. I had a couple of conversations with some service companies today and last night, and everyone's in the same boat. We're trying to figure out how to stay afloat.
Right.
So what are some best practices? What are some things that are going on in your market? And how can we combat this? How can we work together? How can we be a community, and how can we help each other out during these trying times?
Yeah.
What do you got, Angel? What's on your mind, man? What's going on in your mind with all this?
My mind is it keeps going back to just the whole idea of businesses having to kind of go on unemployment and employees having to go on unemployment and stuff like that. It all seems like surreal a little bit because it feels like, you know, we live in kind of a country where no matter how set back things are, we always had that ability to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps or whatever and find a way out. But it's really interesting and a little bit scary because this is like government mandated shutdown of businesses that's happening. A friend of mine owns a barbershop. He owns two, and their town actually told them that they were going to be forced to close next week. I mean, not next week, tomorrow.
Wow.
And it's scary because it's like it's not only that it's not that there's no money, it's that everybody's holding their money and people are the government is not allowing anybody to work.
Yeah.
And you know, that's all aside from the fact that there's a dangerous virus out on the loose, you know, but just the reality of the situation for people that don't have the virus is very disheartening, you know?
Yeah. So we got a comment there from Mike Reed over on YouTube. Is that?
Yeah. It says one beverage SVC company service company let go of 125 people across all their markets. I feel like it's too soon for that.
So let's talk about that, Mike. You know, I think it probably is too soon in that respect because we are at the very beginning of this. So yeah, for us, we're just trying to monitor this. This is an hour to hour thing at this point each day.
Yeah.
It's day to day, but it's also throughout the day. It's hour to hour. It's like, what's going on out here? We're trying to stay in touch with our reps, our dealers, our vendors, our customers. We're watching all the, you know, the media channels that we know are giving out proper information. We're trying to stay close to local government facilities and say, you know, hey, what's going to happen? I'm talking with we're talking with our accountant.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen over the next several weeks, I think, is really gonna be the telltale sign because I don't, you know, I'm one of those guys that's like, all right, relax, everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Calm down. The world's getting too crazy here. But I'm starting to I must say I don't have the fear in me as far as the virus goes. Right. I have the fear in me for the business and the people that work here and being able to feed their families fear.
Right.
I don't know how we are going to navigate this.
This is an interesting critique of our show, and I can explain it, but not to go off on the rails here. But Heidi Rich says, feels very disengaging. Y'all not looking at us and keep looking at the computer screen or away from us. Make sure at least one of y'all is engaged with the audience and the other one keep up with comments. Just saying, hope this helps. It does help, and I will explain to you why it's hard for us. So we're looking at the monitor to read comments, to engage with you guys, to be able to pull things up on the screen at the right time. And the camera is not in the same location, which is right in front of us here. Yeah. So we're monitoring like 3 different things, and we're also trying to keep eye contact. So it is a little tricky. If you've been on camera, if you've been doing, you know, like video podcasts or something, you'll understand it's not easy, especially when it's such an intimate setting. But that's why we decided that we would be doing more of a direct to camera format as opposed to just a podcast, because with a podcast, it's like you're sitting in on a conversation.
Yeah. And to Heidi's point, I think about that, by the way, Heidi, as we're doing this. I do think about it, and I try to sometimes when you're talking, I try to make sure I'm looking at the camera. I'm kind of looking at you. I'm kind of looking at the monitor to see the things. So your point is not taken out of context at all. I think you're onto something there. we have to get better at figuring that out. But I hope the camaraderie, community, and message is what's most important right now.
Right.
But we'll work on that for sure.
Mike Reed's going. DoorDash is reducing their fees to restaurants. That's great. And that's great for me because I love DoorDash.
Yeah.
McDonald's and Subway say they will reduce franchise fees. McDonald's is looking at reducing rent as well. There's a lot of that stuff going on, which I think is really cool. People are trying to help each other out and minimize fees and even, you know, services as much as they possibly can. And even yesterday, I posted a bunch of local businesses on my Instagram that are still going. People like plumbers, people like laundry equipment and stuff like that. And just saying, like, these guys are still out there working. Even if you could just support them by sharing their content and just showcasing that, you know, these guys they exist. I think that would be a good step in the right direction. But I do think that
Yeah.
even though times are hard right now, you are seeing kind of like a banding together of like, we all need to help each other through this because we're not going to be able to do it alone.
Without a doubt, this is going to be collective in a lot of ways, but in a lot of other ways, it's company by company. I just wish I had I don't think any of us have really. We've never been here before,
Right.
so I don't think any of us have the all the answers or any answers at this point. It's just really you got to do what's best for you and your company.
Right.
So,
yeah, I do think there has to be a suspension of judgment right now where some people may be marketing extra and it might seem very spammy or it might seem, contrived or something. I think we do have to kind of have some grace on people and say, like, look, everybody's just trying to stay above water right now. So it might seem spammy or contrived somehow for people to be marketing right now. We're offering sales or stuff like that. But everybody's just trying to stay employed, really. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And especially people that, run businesses and stuff like that. It's not like they have somewhere to go or they could just get another job. This is their livelihood.
Yeah. Alexander said over here on Facebook, Russia's closed all schools until the 12th of April.
Wow.
And Michael Moreno says this is going to be tough for a long time. So
yeah.
I don't disagree. I think I don't see this being a 2-week thing. I think this is going to go run into the summer.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets scary because, I don't know how many businesses, have monster, operation for cash flow kind of thing to subdue all that.
Right.
It's a long time. And, even if you're billing out, like we're up here, we're making sure we're billing, we're doing everything we have to do. Who's going to pay the bill?
Right.
I mean, you got to make sure you're feeding your family first before you start paying vendors at this point. I think there's an understanding. I would hope there's an understanding from all sides of understanding that all plants are working in Russia, Alexander said. So listen, I think there's a lot of different scenarios across the country, across the globe, and how this. I just think it's too early still.
Yeah,
it's just too early to really make any kind of strong decisions. I think I think what's going to happen between now and over the weekend is going to tell a lot.
Right.
So
yeah, it's very interesting because it's difficult to even try and think of a solution when we don't really know the full problem yet.
Yeah, I mean,
things are constantly changing. So
I got some statistics here. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Worldometer, but if you go to Worldometer, you could it brings up a lot of different statistics right now. Currently, coronavirus. Okay, now it's not found. What happened?
They took it down.
They did. I just had it up.
Oh, wow. They actually did take it down.
Yeah, I literally just had it up. This whole website is not working. Okay.
Yeah, they probably crashed it because of traffic. I'm sure a website like that doesn't have much of a crazy traffic rate. So now that all these people are looking at it, it probably just crashed on itself.
That's unfortunate. I really wanted to get into some statistics.
Well,
the whole website's not coming.
I know
up.
you said, what was it, 119 deaths in the U.S.?
I think that was the last one I read.
Yeah,
a 119 or 117 or something along those lines. That was the death toll in the United States as of a few minutes ago. I don't know if that's changed. And when you hear a number like that, it's not a large number, obviously.
Right.
327 million people, but yet here we are. Schools closed, businesses closing, curfews, and never seen anything like it.
I will say this though, I get the suspicion just from the minimal research that I've done is that the hardest part is going to be these coming 2 weeks. That's really going to be the most telling part, and that's really going to decide our trajectory for the next few months. So I think as long as the numbers, first of all, the numbers are definitely going to spike. We talked about this yesterday because there's more testing being done. So there's more people being tested. Obviously, there's going to be more people that are showing positive for this. Yeah. So once we get past that hump of like, okay, we've tested X amount of people and X amount have it, then we can start looking at what the patterns are of growth over the next few weeks or so. And once we get through that, then we'll start to see the trend and we'll start to know, all right, how long is this exactly going to last? So I think the next week is going to be really crucial. If you are sick or if you are not feeling good, do stay home. But if you have a fever, definitely go to a physician, call somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the more we know, the better, the shorter amount of time we'll be quarantined
Yeah.
like this, and the quicker we'll be able to kind of get out of this thing.
Yeah, and I was just listening to a broadcast earlier before we came to do this. They were saying, you know, I think it was actually the Vice President Pence, but if you're not sick,
Yeah.
don't go get tested.
Right.
Because they want to keep those lines and those things open for people that are producing the symptoms right now.
Right.
So they're kind of saying, as courtesy to other people, if you're feeling fine, stay home, keep going about your day, and don't go clogging up, you know, lines at hospitals and centers that are testing now, so that the people that are actually having the symptoms can get that. So
yeah, there are also some myths of like there's not enough testing going on. The thing is that I was listening to Dr. Drew. I don't know if you know who Dr. Drew is.
of course,
Yeah. So
celebrity rehab, man.
He kind of lashed out at the media and said that the media is doing like a really crazy job causing a lot of panic just in general to people. And he said the reason that people aren't getting tested just willy-nilly is because that's not how the medical profession works. You need to have some sort of indication of the symptoms in order for you to qualify for testing. If you have no indications of them, then you don't need to be tested. That's just how the medical profession works. So I think it's important we know, like, when we hear like, oh, there's not enough testing being done, or there's a shortage in the amount of testing, we know that that's not actually the case. The case is that you don't need to be tested because nothing is indicating that you have this thing.
Right. And I got a message here on LinkedIn, I believe.
Karen?
What is it?
Karen?
Oh, yes, Karen. UK PM, so United Kingdom Prime Minister has advised the population to not visit bars and restaurants, although businesses are still open. Today saw the first downturn in orders in and out, testing times ahead for us all, and time to pull together. There's a bigger picture out there.
Yeah, UK is taking a very unique approach in that they're asking specifically older people and people with babies to really quarantine themselves and stay separate themselves. And then they're asking everybody else to just kind of go about their day. I mean, that's what it was as of yesterday. But we're taking a kind of different approach where we're self isolating or quarantining ourselves. Just blanket, you know, everybody has to. And it's just a social experiment. The idea in the UK is that if enough people get it, then enough people will kind of it'll just pass through and will develop immunity somehow after it goes through the whole population. So it's really interesting to see how different countries are approaching this, and really interesting to see how, you know, America is really taking little bits of different ideas, you know. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it turns out. But are you scared for your health?
No,
me neither.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, and I think we have to learn how to compartmentalize the two, because it's easy for us to be like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do about my job. I don't know where I'm going to get money. And then that can develop into a fear of just overall not being able to survive. Yeah. And before you know it, you're having a panic attack because you think that something's out to get you. It's like, no, this is just horrible circumstances that we've been put in, and they will end.
I mean, Josh, we were talking about it yesterday with Josh Zolan. You know, this too shall pass. Yeah. When, we don't know. I think that's what really is the worst part. You know, I was talking with one of my texts earlier today. We were talking about, you know, even if we had like a date, like, okay, July 8th, everything is going to be back. Like, you know, it's just the uncertainty.
Yeah.
And that's what fear is. Fear is fear of the unknown, fear of uncertainty. Yeah. That's what cripples people with fear.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, even like when you're starting a business or you're doing stuff, like people don't start because they're fearing of what might happen.
It's true.
You know, am I going to be ridiculed? Am I going to be this, that, the other thing, whatever it might be? So fear is crippling, and fear is a lot of people tell you fear is not even real. It's made up. Yeah. Right. It's here. This is where fear lives. So you do have the power to kind of shift your mindset. Yeah. even in times like these, it's not easy because you're saying to yourself, okay, well, maybe I'm not worried about the disease, but I am worried about how I'm going to feed my kids, how I'm going to pay my rent, how I'm going to pay this, because at the end of the day, people are still going to want their rent money. The banks are going to still, people are going to want their mortgages. You still got to pay your mortgage. You still have to do all these things.
Yeah.
I know there are some relief. There's some relief out there, though. I know there's a lot of different things that are going to be happening, I'm sure. And again, it's just another thing. You got to keep monitoring and see what the White House is going to put out for the country. And is there going to be? Are they going to pass the? I think was it $850 billion economy stimulator? Is that gonna come into play? When is it going to come into play? What is a small business going to be able to do to get that? How fast is all this going to happen? Speed is of the essence in times like this. I'm still watching us on LinkedIn. We're good.
We're having trouble streaming the LinkedIn, please. If you guys get cut off, we'll just hop over to YouTube and check us out there, please. Maliki TV on YouTube.
I see us all on LinkedIn. We're good.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a comment on LinkedIn. If LinkedIn feed goes away.
Yeah, but I like we were talking about. I think on a personal level, it is important to not let your thoughts wander too much into the what ifs. I know you talk about the what ifs a lot. I tend to kind of lean on scripture and stuff for stuff like this, not to dive into it, but there's a scripture that says take every thought captive, and I think you really need to kind of analyze your own thoughts just minute by minute and say, is this thought something that's fear-based, or is this thought something that's actually real that I need to account for and I need to focus on? And I think just keeping yourself in that place will first of all keep you less stressed. Second of all, keep you making better decisions. Oh, we got the world meter up. There's a cool comment here from Danny Lara. Reach out to your customers, let them know you are available to help them with their maintenance, repairs, and remodel needs. Restaurants generally have these things done late hours or closed. Now they have time to do multi-day repairs. Offer them longer invoicing, 60 to 90 days. We have 3 projects in the works already.
Yeah, nothing wrong with any of that. Nothing wrong with any of that. We talked about stuff like that. I talked about it earlier. I was talking with Roger Smelser about doing some PMs and keeping flat fees and keeping costs as low as possible. We were helping combat some of those costs that might be a little higher incurred.
Big time. So,
yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff you can be doing right now, but I think from what I'm gathering here in my market and from my customers and everything, the layoffs have been kind of crazy for a couple of people that I know.
Yeah.
I know some people that have lost jobs already. Well, they didn't lose their job, but it's layoff, right? So I don't know if there's really money. I don't think anyone's worried about repairing right now or doing anything right now. I think they're just gonna limp by with anything that might be. I just don't, and I put myself. The biggest thing to do is have empathy right now.
Yeah.
Put yourself in that restaurateur's shoes and the food service operator's shoes and the food service director's shoes and the people running these food operations. There's no money to be spent on anything right now. So it's tight. So what happened there? Oh, well, let's just, we keep going, man. We just keep going. I'm going to give you some coronavirus cases from Worldometer. 215,131 coronavirus cases in the world of 7.5 plus billion people.
Okay, keep going. I'm going to get up for a second.
Do you think? We have the deaths from Worldometer. 8,794 deaths currently. Recovered 84,314. So we look at some active cases right now. Currently infected patients 122,023. People are still watching, man. Just because it's frozen there. Because look. Oh no, LinkedIn finally did. LinkedIn, we're losing them. Facebook's still good. It's LinkedIn. Oh no, Facebook is down. And the broadcast and go back. And didn't go back. We're down everywhere.